Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. So here is a fragrance that came out of left field. Today I'm just going to be doing a first impression because, as you can tell, I don't have a bottle of this. This is Moncler pour Homme, of course the apparel brand that is quite luxury and expensive. But in any case, I have a sample that was very generously sent to me by a good friend of mine, Chris, from the channel Casual Fragrances. Thank you, Chris. I'm excited to give you my first impressions on the smell, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video and I give you my first impressions of Moncler pour Homme, which is a brand new fragrance that came out in 2021, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you got to do is click on that red button in the corner. Of course, make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon, and give this video a thumbs up if you take something of value from today's episode. Now, of course, whenever I go to the mall, I always see their jackets and their apparel, and surely this is a very expensive brand. And of course, in 2021, they came out with the men's fragrance Moncler pour Homme. And so I was looking it up online, and it has two very accomplished perfumers that worked on it, Christophe Renaud and Antoine Maison-Dieu, if I'm not mistaken. And I was looking at the note breakdown, and it seems to be the sort of green pine sandalwood based fragrance. And so I've heard a few things about it. I didn't really watch too many reviews, although I read a couple of reviews. But I know a few of my peers here on the platform have done videos on this fragrance. But in any case, I'm always excited to try a fragrance for myself. And I don't have a full sample here, but nevertheless, I do want to thank my friend Chris for sending this to me. So let's just go ahead and give it a fresh spray, and we'll see what this fragrance is all about. That seems to be good. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely sandalwood in here. All right, so this is a twist of Santal 33. So this reminds me a lot of Santal 33, which happens to be like one of the most cloned and one of the most twisted fragrances out there. And it might not be a direct twist, but in terms of that sandalwood accord, it does certainly remind me a lot of Santal 33 by Le Labo. Now, I think the thing about Santal 33 that really created a unique sandalwood accord within that fragrance is the note of papyrus or papyrus, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And I think that that's kind of what created that earthy yet slightly spicy quality to the fragrance. And I do get a little bit of that from this fragrance as well. I remember reading online that it has, I think, either amber, cedarwood, and pine. And I do get a green quality from the fragrance. In terms of the pine that's used in here, it's not as strong as INCENSE by Tom Ford, so it's not an overly green fragrance per se. There's a little bit of a spicy quality about it. Perhaps that's coming from the cedarwood, but I do get those green notes in the opening with the clary sage. And so the clary sage that's used in here could be the sclarine molecule, which is really popular nowadays. It's used in H24 by Hermes, as well as many, many other fragrances. And so you have a little bit of that green contemporary aromatic fresh quality in the opening, which kind of lies in contrast to the sandalwood, because the sandalwood is a little deeper, a little darker. But I kind of like that dichotomy. I like that it opens up kind of fresh, still on the green side of things, but it dries down to something woodsy, but you're still able to smell the sandalwood from the opening, or at least I am. So definitely the first thing that came to mind for me was this smells a lot like Santal 33, and I think that that's a good thing. I think that, a lot of brands are sort of experimenting with how can we utilize a sandalwood of similar quality to Santal 33, but really make it our own, really create a layer of originality to the fragrance. And I think this one manages to sort of take that Santal 33 DNA and make it a little bit more versatile. I think Santal 33, especially given the fact that it's one of the longest lasting fragrances in my collection, that can probably be a little bit overbearing for a lot of people. Whereas in the case of Moncler pour Homme, I think this fragrance can probably be a little bit more versatile and a little bit more easy to wear for a lot of people. So that clary sage in the opening is certainly one of the redeeming qualities for this fragrance. It opens up with this green freshness. It smells contemporarily and traditionally masculine, if you will. You know, there are certain ingredients in the perfume industry that just smell masculine to people. Clary sage is one of them, birch tar is one of them, oak moss is one of them, pine is another. And so this one, with that combination of pine but also clary sage, you have this bright green quality, and then you have this slightly darker green quality, which I think is something really cool that's being done in this fragrance, and I appreciate it for that. So do I think I'm gonna get a bottle of this one? I'm not entirely sure. What I will admit is that I think it will be redundant in my collection, and I have a lot of fragrances, and I have a lot of Santal 33 type fragrances, including the original, several bottles of the original, because I've gotten many refills over the years. It's like one of my wife's favorite fragrances. I have Tory Birch Knock on Wood, which also has a little bit of a Santal 33 quality. I think I have Tiveden by, I think that's the one, by Zara, and scent number something or other. So I have a lot of Santal 33 inspired fragrances in my collection. I really don't need another one. But if I find it for a good price, if I see it selling online, I will probably pick it up just from a collector's standpoint. But I do think this fragrance is going to do well, especially among a younger, more hip, edgy crowd. I think they're going to like this type of a DNA, and I think it's a solid release from Moncler. So I'm excited to see that they came out with a fragrance. I'm hoping that you at home have had the opportunity to try this fragrance. If you have, leave a comment down below. I always love to hear what you think of certain fragrances. You know I love the interaction. I try to reply to as many comments as possible. Not always feasible with a wife, a kid, and a full-time job aside from YouTube, but I always love the interaction. I appreciate you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first impressions video. Maybe there will be a review to come if I get a bottle, but thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon. It would mean a lot to me. And of course, while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would assist me tremendously. So thank you all for watching. Love you all. We'll see you very soon. Bye.